This is Warzone Jones, and ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about a wrestler who, in my opinion, has just been the hardest working man in the WWE. In my opinion, but at least within the last 2 years, he's been the hardest working man in the WWE. And matter of fact, he's still working hard, and he's still delivering. The man I'm talking about is Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, ladies and gentlemen, here's a guy who had to reestablish himself. He had to reestablish his whole career ever since he came back from being fired from Eric Bischoff a couple of years ago. When he came back, he had to reestablish himself. For example, when he came back, all those new generation wrestling fans, they didn't even know who the fuck he was. Bottom line, they didn't know who he was, and you could tell by the crowd response that they didn't know who he was. Bottom line, they didn't know who he was. Period, because you could tell, for example, when Jericho first came to the WWF at the time, the WWE was known as WWF, he got a bigger reaction today. And at the time, Chris Jericho wasn't even a main eventer. He was a mid-carder in WCW. That's what he was. He was a mid-carder in WCW, and the mid-carder in WCW wasn't a superstar. Here, let's be honest, the mid-carder in WCW wasn't no superstar, and that's what he was when he came to WWF, and people they blew up. When he debuted in WWF, and he was a mid-carder in WCW. If you remember what a mid-carder in WCW was, you know what I'm talking about. That's what he was. He was not that he was a nobody, but he wasn't a megastar. He got a crowd reaction like he was like he was a main eventer. But moving on, he had to reestablish himself, and I sort of wonder, first thing I'm thinking is when these fans to get him the proper ovation which I think he should have, which he deserved in my opinion. I'm thinking, oh God, these new generation wrestling fans, they are so just uneducated, when it comes to various guys. That's what I remember thinking. And I remember thinking, hey, he got a lot of work to do. And he had to reestablish himself, and he did it. He succeeded. Chris Jericho is one of the biggest stars, in the WWE going today, and one of the most valuable wrestlers going in WWE today. Think about all the things Jericho has done since re-debuting, period. From the title match he had with Randy Orton since he was a babyface, but Chris Jericho didn't really blow over with the new fans until he went heel, and that's when he really started to elevate himself with the newer fans when he went heel. For example, his feud with Shawn Michaels. His feud with Shawn Michaels was it was the feud of the year. During that year, in my opinion, that was the feud of the year. Period. They was having the best matches. Just various other things he was doing. The things he did with Big Show. The things he was doing with Ricky Steamboat, and he had to carry like 4 guys who are way out of their prime, like 70-something years old. Guys who are old enough to be my great grandfather. Guys like that. That match wasn't necessarily great, but it was better than what everybody expected. It really didn't get good until Steamboat and Jericho went together. Got no win at it. But Chris Jericho has just been great. Bottom line, he's been great in the last 2 years. He was superstar of the decade in 2008. I didn't think he was gonna get it, but I thought he deserved it, and he got it. And he should have been superstar of the decade in 2009, in my opinion. But they gave it to John Cena. They had a tournament for that. I guess they figured, well, hey, if John Cena's the biggest superstar, then why is this guy Chris Jericho, who's a bad guy, a heel? Why is he getting it 2 times in a row? I don't know what's going on with that. But John Cena wasn't superstar of the year, period. At that time, Chris Jericho was. I just think it's like a little stupid that Chris Jericho keeps losing to John Cena. Like he literally keeps losing. Like he literally hasn't beaten him yet, and he faced him like 5 or 6 times. But moving on, Chris Jericho, since he's just been great. Him and Jericho. Him and the Big Show. These guys were the best unified tag team champions, period. The best unified tag team champions, in my opinion. I thought it was a shame that they broke up this good thing. They're breaking up this good thing. They broke up this good thing for DX. And we all know DX, compared to a couple of years ago, it's whack. It's not as cool, not as fun. They're not doing nothing legendary. And to me, I really did enjoy Jericho a hell of a lot more than I enjoyed DX. Bottom line, I enjoyed Jericho a hell of a lot more than I enjoyed DX. And they basically just gave them the title so they can sell more merchandise. DX, they gave them the title so they can sell more merchandise, and I thought that was bull. And I thought it was just a shame that they was breaking on Jericho, but hey, everything's good though. But he's been carrying SmackDown. he's been doing, when he was on Raw, he was another reason to watch Raw, because we all know all the crappy Raws that has been coming out, all the crappy ass Raws that have been coming out. You know, everything Jericho did was pretty good. You know, nothing he did was crap compared to the stuff with Hornswoggle and all the DX plugs and the crap with the guest host. He was another reason to watch Raw, basically. You know, that's just what I think. And sometimes he'll be on ECW. I think he's on ECW probably like 2 times. But, you know, when he was with Jericho, they were the best thing on SmackDown, in my opinion, and probably the second best thing on Raw. Bottom line. And I do think the WWE knew that to a certain extent. I believe they knew that to a certain extent. Hopefully they appreciate it, because Jericho has been there for him, period. Carrying SmackDown, you know, especially since Edge left, carrying SmackDown, hands down, carrying SmackDown. His feud with Batista was decent. His feud with Rey Mysterio was great. These guys had great matches. They putting on great matches, the best matches in the WWE. Jericho and Rey Mysterio, bottom line. He's putting on the best matches in the WWE, bottom line. And you know, he just had other various feuds that were great. You know, I mean, Jericho this man is being great. This man had to reestablish himself, and he did it. He had to reestablish himself, and he did it, and I love him for it. You know, he's been the best wrestler to me in the last 2 years. In the last 2 years, Chris Jericho, 2008, 2009, he's still going strong. Chris Jericho has been the best wrestler in the last 2 years, and I really do think, you know, in this Elimination Chamber that Chris Jericho is going to win this, I believe he's going to win this Elimination Chamber, and then Chris Jericho and Edge are going to go at it at WrestleMania. That's just what I think, and, you know, hopefully we can get there, because I'm pretty sure Edge and Jericho, these guys got great chemistry. They're best friends, you know, they're real good friends, and, you know, these guys should have great chemistry. I really am looking forward to that match. That's just what I'm hoping. So this is my little fantasy card at WrestleMania, my little fantasy match. But, you know, hopefully that'll happen. I can see that happen. But Jericho, man, he's been great. He had to reestablish himself, and he did it. Bottom line, he did it. Think about it. Think about how far Jericho has come since he had to reestablish himself, ever since he had came back. Man, it's been great. Bottom line, I don't care what nobody says. Chris Jericho isn't your favorite wrestler. Chris Jericho, if you hate him, or whatever it is, you hate him, hey, he's a heel. He's doing his job. And, you know, people he's literally the best heel in the WWE, bottom line. The man is the best heel in WWE. Now, some people might say Randy Orton. Not for a second. It's not Randy Orton. It's Chris Jericho. For example, Chris Jericho gets cheered a little bit. Bottom line, he gets cheered a little bit. Chris Jericho gets booed. He gets booed. All right, he gets booed from walking to the ramp till he gets to the ring. When he do his promos, the man got the best promos in WWE, too. He got the best promos in WWE. You know, the man got charisma. He got a good wrestling beat. The man's a total package superstar, regardless. You know, he's just a real good wrestler, and that, you know, to me that makes him better than Randy Orton. Period. He's a better wrestler than Randy Orton. Period. No, but that is just me. But you know, I'm in this video. But, you know, just think about Chris Jericho. You know, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, if you agree with what I'm saying, you know, go ahead and comment and let me know. But, you know, Chris Jericho, to me, man, best wrestler within the last 2 years. Bottom line, the best wrestler within the last 2 years. And so this is Warzone Jones. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. And I'm out.